Interesting time. Anthropic is at loggerheads with US government, particularly the Department of War. I think this is interesting. Let's do a backstory with timelines. So July 20, Anthropic $100 million contract to give the military. January 2026, the US uses that AI, to on a mission to capture the Venezuelan president. On February 17, 2026, Anthropic gets worried that the military is using its AI, and then demanded, some accountability from Pentagon to promise not to use it for mass surveillance or killer robots, essentially making AI fully automated weapon. But February 24, 2026, the Defense Secretary Pitt gets angry. He says no private company can tell the military how to fight. He gives Anthropic one February deadline to remove all safety limits. February 26 CEO Dario completely refuses. The company cannot, in good conscience, let the military use cloned without rules. On February 2027, deadline arrived. The government has now blacklisted Anthropic as a supply chain risk and planned a 6 months phasing out of all Anthropic. Shortly after the deadline, in true Trump fashion, he posted on saying that all federal agents will immediately cease all use of Anthropic technology and label the company refusals to grant unrestricted access and attempt to harm the US government. And of course, for those who care about Anthropic, especially for financial analysts, they wonder this move by the company could derail their rumor 2026 IP. As company supply chain risk label makes it toxic for any enterprise client with government ties, to work with them. But ultimately, for marketing heads and founders, the story of Anthropic was departed from voice a masterclass in founder-led growth because it transformed a very geopolitical standoff into a definitive brand move. By publicly refusing a $200 million military contract to protect the bright lines against mass surveillance. I think the CEO has illustrated the ultimate power of no market. I think this isn't just about legal dispute. Very that they are demonstrating in actual case what they want to stand with, that they are AI company that actually have safety guide rails that don't break even under extreme government pressure. With everybody and every government doing their generative AI. Brand wise, I think this is a masterclass from Anthropic, where they are clearly, defining themselves from say XAI, OpenAI, who completely didn't fight back, when government came with this direct. Now, Anthropic now basically owns. But of course, to be interested to see how this plays out, fighting the government is never easy, especially in a place like Nigeria. We know what happened with the next newspaper owned by the award-winning journalist, Dele. We'll keep an eye, we'll keep monitoring, of course, but I'm Madam Karim.